Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Some people do stupid things. Don't do stupid things. You are about to hear my opinion. Do your own research.
Somebody need to check that dude's hard drive. Why does it look like they're in the ghetto? So, first, check this out. This is the roommate of this guy that I thought was married with kids, giving a statement that sounds like he's reading a hostage letter. Like, he is reading that, me personally, I see emotion like he is reading his own future, not like he is reading the future of a friend. And Papa John's, like, this dude that supposedly did this, the suspect, this fella, he worked with this group called the Red Lion out of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And right up until the beginning of the year, for the past 3.5 years, he'd been doing pretty well and doing his thing over there. But any information you look up about the Red Lion is just generic bullshit. It's about as shell as it gets. So, did anybody else notice that the mask that he was wearing, did you happen to catch the police chief that was like giving the brief yesterday, chewing his gum, all big and bald? Just saying, was anybody trying to put out a statement? Somebody trying to say something? Like, hey, maybe you should look over that way. It's just where my brain goes. I can't help it. What do you think? But the Papa John's delivery dude's a bit much. Somebody check that dude's hard drive.
There is a ton of information coming at us from every single direction, and it's all pointing this way, that way, the other way, and it's coming from here and there, and it's all opinion, a lot of it. And you're about to hear my opinion too about this suspect. But have you heard this supposed roommate like reading the final text from this suspect? Because you're about to. Check it out.
So I just want to let you know that I love you guys both, and I wish it hadn't gone this way. I don't want to say anything more and implicate you in any way, because you guys don't know anything about this. But I love you guys, and I'm sorry for all the trouble this has caused. He was a loving, caring guy, loved his family, loved his friends, and loved God, and I don't know why he did what he did. It's not Vance. No one will believe this. No one that grew up. He had lots of friends, trust me. And I wish I could have been there to stop him.
Now, of course, conspiracy brain time. What if that was meant to be said in that way, right? He sent him this final message and it says, I don't want to implicate you because you don't know anything. Like he's basically reading that out loud to, save face. Maybe he does know stuff. And this was the plan, to make it look like the roommate knew nothing. Then again, maybe he totally didn't. I really don't know, but we will find out.
Belter approached Representative Hortman's home, again dressed as a police officer, wearing the tactical vest and body armor, and wearing that hyper-realistic mask. He was armed and carrying a flashlight. Before he entered the home, 2 Brooklyn Park police officers arrived at the scene. They too had been dispatched to check on Representative Hortman after learning of the shooting of Senator Hoffman. When they arrived at the scene, they saw Belter's black SUV parked in the driveway with the emergency lights flashing, and they saw Belter standing in front of the house several feet from the door. When Belter saw the officers get out of the car, he drew his weapon and began firing. He rushed into the house through the front door, firing into it. He repeatedly fired into the house, and when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark. The Brooklyn Park police officers fired at Belter as he rushed into the home, but he escaped into the home and out the back. Officers recovered Belter's 9mm Beretta, along with the body armor and the mask, behind the home along his path of flight when he fled on foot. They later searched Belter's car, where they found 5 more firearms, including assault-style rifles and a large quantity of ammunition. Belter also had in his car notebooks containing a list of more than 45 Minnesota state and federal elected officials, including Representative Hortman. Now, Belter planned his attack carefully. He researched his victims and their families. He used the internet and other tools to find their addresses and names, the names of their family members. He conducted surveillance of their homes and took notes about the location of their homes. He also prepared in other ways. He concealed himself as a police officer, outfitting his black SUV with police lights and a police license plate, wearing a black tactical vest and body armor, carrying a police flashlight and a handgun. And of course he wore that hyper-realistic silicone mask as seen on the surveillance videos. The video of his arrival and shooting of Senator Hoffman is truly chilling. Again, it's no exaggeration to say this is the stuff of nightmares.
Personally, I think that headline was very misleading because police officers can arrive at the time of the incident. They didn't see him walk up and be at the door and then do stuff before doing anything. It was happen real fast. So my real question is, what made them go over there? Just because it was nearby? Are there any other senators or individuals of, importance in that area? Why did they go there? How did they know to go there? That's my big question. They're just like out of caution. We know that this other senator is nearby. Let's go there. How? Why? And another thing that we can almost guarantee coming out of this is going to be the left screaming, oh, we need more gun control. That's totally going to happen. It happens every single time.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is believed to have gone into hiding after Vance Bolter got caught, which is the one that allegedly unalived those Minnesota lawmakers.
So this is an interesting topic. A lot of videos are like, oh, Tim Walz has gone into hiding, when he actually hasn't. Now, the fact that Tim Walz is somehow connected to this guy, is like he appointed him, right? Tim Walz is still front and center. So him going into hiding would have been suspicious. But being front and center with all of these connections, that's very suspicious to me. Because the last thing you want to do is look like you might have something to do with this. Now, he actually did like a briefing yesterday after the fellow was caught. So he's not really in hiding. But he did have some interesting things to say.
Law enforcement have apprehended Vance Bolter. That's 48 hours that law enforcement involved in a complex and dangerous manhunt. Spent Father's Day away from their families to deliver justice for Melissa and Mark Hortman and their children who spent this Father's Day alone. To the law enforcement who stand here and the hundreds who were involved in this, the state of Minnesota owes you a deep debt of gratitude. Thank you. You ran towards the danger and you served the state of Minnesota. This is a great example of coordination and collaboration. Multiple agencies, federal, state, and local, coordinating together in a way to protect the public and close this hunt around. Multiple agencies were there as FBI laid hands on it and Minnesota State Patrol put the handcuffs on. One man's unthinkable actions have altered the state of Minnesota. Melissa Hortman was the core of who our values were. She had a hand in so many things that happened. The building that we stand in, she helped usher through so that we could respond from the State Emergency Operations Center with the professionalism and giving the tools necessary to law enforcement to do their job.
All right, I need to rip this to shreds. Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, notorious for putting tampons in the boys' bathroom, and notorious for being anti-ICE raids, right? He's against the local law enforcement working with the feds. But in this situation, he's championing them for working together to protect the community from one of their own, but not getting illegal immigrants out. And this woman, this poor woman that passed away, voted to not give illegal immigrants government health care. But he goes on and just talks about how wonderful of a person she is, which I'm sure she was. But how hypocritical is that? Now, I'm no stranger to hypocrisy and contradicting myself many times, but I'm not a person of political power. I'm just a normal person thinking things and learning something else and going, oh, I was wrong. Let's talk about that the other direction. This is interesting how he's championing them, how he's championing the local law enforcement working with feds. But didn't he just say about how much he hates, the feds coming in and doing all this stuff? Unless it's for one of his community members.
A moment in this country where we watch violence erupt. This cannot be the norm. It cannot be the way that we deal with our political differences. Now's the time for us to recommit to the core values of this country. And each and every one of us can do it. Talk to a neighbor rather than arguing. Debate an issue. Shake hands. Find common ground.
How fantastic is it hearing those words come from the mouth that recently stood on a stage and talked about how happy it made him to watch Tesla stock fall. And to hear him just this weekend say, man, I have never wanted rain more in my life during the military parade. Yeah, that's just, it gets me. It gets me every time.
Too many things about this story ain't adding up, y'all. Two Democratic lawmakers that got mowed down in Minnesota yesterday. This is the person they're saying done it, Vance Butler. But this is what Cowboy Elroy actually looks like now. Cowboys? I'm sorry, what? You expect me to believe that Cowboy Elroy looking like a can of busted biscuits, 24-pack Jack, outrun law enforcement on fucking foot? At 57-year-old, now what? Sus. Look, it may be the camera angle, but baby, that don't even look like the same body. You see what I'm saying? And why would you even open the door for that? Is it just me? How does this equal this? Sus. Now look, I know the man worked for a security firm. And he's got all the training. I'm not getting mastermind vibes here. I'm getting 2 Speedway burritos and a fountain drink, which is a perfect cover if you're in a 3-letter agency. So this morning they caught his wife. She was detained in a traffic stop. Remember, Jenny used to work for Wall with multiple relatives going through Onomatopoeia, whatever the hell that says. And they found a car full of cash, passports, and pew-pews. Passports? Was she headed for the Canadian border? What is happening here? So Cowboy Elroy just walking all around the city with a cowboy hat, and nobody can't seem to find him almost 2 days later? He left a clue. He left his hat next to another abandoned car. How did he get another car 60 miles away from the original scene? Wasn't they watching his house? Boys, sus. Who is this man? The master of disguise? Who is Vance Butler? Cause this is giving Cowboy Carmen Sandiego. Where the hell is he? And then we got this roommate. Why does he have a roommate? He's married, right? Claiming he's his best friend and he's a Trump supporter. Have you seen this guy? I'm picking up some liberal energy. Also, Papa John's loving the free ad.
Maybe dead shortly. So I just want to let you know that I love you guys both.
So allegedly, he's reading some kind of text off of his phone that he got from Vance Butler at 6 o'clock this morning. So the dude's just running around talking on his cell phone. Nobody's got this man's phone. What? Now this is where it gets weird.
A photo of your phone screen. Yeah, I just don't want.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't run it big, but
yeah, it's alright. I read it. That's
okay. That's
more
fine.
Okay.
So the press wants to take screenshots of the messages this man allegedly sent him, but he don't want to let him see it. Sus.
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah. Sorry, I just got over here. What did the text say? Good, you missed it. I can't read it again. It takes too much out of me. But
that's the source you all believe in? That he's a Trump supporter? I ain't saying he is or he ain't, but you're gonna need better than that. Now Vance was a documented Republican in the early 2000s in Oklahoma, but that don't really mean he is now. Time will tell you. So he asked him to read it again and he couldn't read it again. Now boys, balls? Nobody's confiscated this man's phone, had direct contact with the suspect, couldn't show nobody the messages, and couldn't repeat the message. Now that's sus as shit. So this man is still on the loose, and here's everything I think is sus right now. One, them trying to say this guy and this guy is the same body, let alone person. Two, the cop just randomly wanting to go to Hortman's house after going to Hoffman's house. Well, he got ESPN or something. One representative with the Lord must be another one. Three, the fact they won't release the manifesto and show people the names on it. Four, Hortman's reaction after voting against her Democratic Party.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and I'm,
Number next thing, the fact Vance's wife is out running around with passports. Is she trying to get away? Number next thing, the No Kings protest notes found in the car. The fact this man worked for Walls. The fact that the internet is going to find this man before the police do. Y'all out here arguing is he Democrat or Republican? That's the last thing I give a damn about. I want to know what's going on here because something's fishy as hell. What is going on here? I feel a rabbit hole. There's a 3-letter agency here. Something sus as hell about all this. I smell fish ass, y'all. Fish ass.
Obviously, that was before he was caught, and I love the way he broke everything down because that's where the conspiracy brain wants to go. Why did they go to that next house? And this list, it's not really a manifesto because it's just a list of people, and everybody's screaming, oh, he's a Republican, he's a Democrat, and nobody knows which way. And if you pick one news outlet over the other, they're going to say two different things. So we don't really know 100% right now what's going on. He was a Walls employee. Why was his wife fleeing with all of these things? And the roommate is a little sus. So it's a really confusing thing, and a lot of stuff is going to come out over the next few days, and I just wanted to take a minute to, focus on just one topic because it's super huge right now. And the interesting thing is how all of these politicians, mainly Waltz, are like, yeah, we're working with the federal government, when he's like, don't work with the federal government. And the list of people that he's got on the thing, they're all Democrats that lean right. So is he cleaning house? Did somebody send him to clean house? Was it really him? There's a lot of questions, and I just want to take a second to take a little detour, and I hope you had a good time. As for me, I'm calling it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and then come on back, because we're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.
Google said there's a hot babe named Christina 2 miles away from me, and they were absolutely right. Say hi for the vlog.
hi.
Look at those melons. Turns out Christina used to be Chris. Fuck that shit. She said, let's see whose is bigger. She won, but that's beside the point.
I ain't even mad she lied to me. I'm mad that thing was so girthy. Why did it wink at me, bro?